Today is the season finale of season 2 with the one and only, the amazing Fabi as my co-host. Can you believe it, Fabi? You've done it.
I did it. I did it. And I think, maybe we'll talk about it next season more. Even how this came about, me being on the show, it's about speaking up for yourself and going after what you want. And there's a great story there. We'll save it for maybe next season. We'll talk about it. But it's funny. I was telling a mutual friend of ours about it. Actually, yesterday, I was at the grocery store and he called and I didn't know you were that close to him. And He was like, you know who I met? And I said, who? He's like, Monday. I said, Monday? That's not. No, he actually asked, I said, you and Monday, you guys still doing the podcast? And I said, yes. And he was like, I met him and he is an amazing guy. And we've gotten close. I was like, I mean, you're my friend.
It's a small world.
Of course, you're going to be friends with Monday. Because you know who I'm talking about?
No, but do tell. Give me the first letter of the person's name.
Well, no, I don't mind sharing his name because he also has an amazing podcast. He's doing wonderful work. And I think maybe we can even have him as a guest next season.
Wait. I think I have an idea who you're referring to then. You say he has an amazing podcast.
Amazing podcast doing, I mean, is
it a podcast entitled Knack?
Absolutely.
You talk about the famous Patrick.
Yes, Patrick. And he called me yesterday and we were talking because I had texted him for Christmas. Mm-hmm. And, he's one of those people. He was like, no, I don't do text. I'm calling you to say Merry Christmas. Yeah.
So Patrick and I, we've been friends for about a year now, right? But we never met. I mean, we collaborated. We talk on the phone. Sometimes we text, but we never met. And so a few weeks ago, as you know, we went down to Miami, Florida for the banquet. And of course, Patrick came and I met his wife. Beautiful.
And he said he met your wife.
Yeah, we had a wonderful time. He's a good guy. He's really a good guy.
Amazing guy. Amazing person. And so, but yeah, we were chatting and he said he met you. So with all that,
small world, Fabi. I didn't know you knew him. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Patrick is amazing. He's one of those people I can call and run things by or whatever. Sometimes you need solid people, and I could honestly say I have. And that's why sometimes when I hear some of these conversations, I don't pay attention to a lot of the conversations I hear online about relationships and stuff like that, the fluffy stuff, because I can honestly say that I have solid people. Even no one is perfect, but they speak openly about their mistakes and don't mind pouring onto me. And so I am grateful to have amazing men around me as friends and as great role models, and you yourself included, because you and I, we've had many.
I'm an amazing man. Yes, Fabi, go ahead.
No, and that's not because you and I sometimes just regular conversations turn into a therapy session, and it's great coming from a man's perspective, and so I appreciate you for it, and I appreciate the solid man that I have in my life. And I think that's one of the reasons I really appreciate that one of the last episodes we had about men's mental health, because I'm blessed to have some great men in my life.
Yeah. And guess what? We are blessed to have wonderful people like you, of course, by our side. Let me just say that you have brought so much joy and excitement into the recording of the show every week. It's like, I didn't know that was the seed I was waiting for, right? And there you were. So speaking about seed, I found myself online. So I was doing a little research and then I decided to Google seeds of love, that life. And there was a beautiful article written And your name is on that article. And I don't think you knew that.
No, I did not.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you Google Seeds of Love, that life,
Seeds
of
of
love,
love
that
dot
life.
life. Oh,
Yeah.
should I read it?
Yeah. It's for
Okay.
you. Yeah.
Okay. So, dear beloved Seeds of Love community, as the year draws to a close, I find myself reflecting on the incredible journey we've shared together. It's a moment filled with gratitude, warmth, and overwhelming sense of appreciation for each and every one of you who has been a part of the Seeds of Love podcast and our weekly blog. In the season of reflection and celebration, I want to take a moment to express my deepest appreciation for your unwavering support, your kind words, and the beautiful energy you bring to our community. Seeds of Love has grown into a space of shared wisdom, laughter, and genuine connection, and it wouldn't be the same without each of you. That is true. To our co host, Fabi Dumas, that's me. I want to take a moment. I want to take a moment to express my deepest gratitude for the extraordinary person and co-creator that you are. From the very first episode we recorded together, it was clear that Seeds of Love had found a soulful companion in you. Aww. Your passion for love, relationships, and the genuine care you bring to every conversation has been the heartbeat of our podcast. But beyond the podcast, I want to acknowledge the beautiful friendship that has blossomed between us, your kindness, support, and the laughter we've shared behind the mic have added a special layer to this journey that I hold dear. To all our podcast listeners, your ears have been the companions to our words, and your hearts have been the beating rhythm of Seeds of Love. Your feedback, your stories, and the moments you've shared with us have turned this podcast into a beautiful tapestry of love, understanding, and growth. To all those who find solace and inspiration in this weekly blog, your eyes have been the wisdom through which we've connected with your souls. Your engagement, comments, and the connections forged through the written words have made our blog a haven of shared experiences and wisdom. As we stand on the brink of a new year, I want to express my deepest thanks for your continued support. Your presence has not only made Seeds of Love a thriving community, but has also enriched my own journey in ways words cannot capture. I agree. As we step into 2024, I wish each and every one of you a year filled with boundless joy, love, and the realization of your dreams. May the seeds we've planted together continue to blossom into moments of connection, growth, and profound understanding. In the tapestry of life, you are the vibrant threads that make it extraordinary. Thank you for being a part of this beautiful journey. May the coming year bring you all the love and happiness you deserve. With heartfelt appreciation and wishes for a happy new year. Mondy Dorsainvil, host of Seeds of Love podcast.
You know, you can read to me every day. That
Oh,
was
Mondy,
beautiful.
please. I mean, have you heard your voice?
That was beautiful, Fabi. Beautiful,
Thank
beautiful,
you.
beautiful. But yeah, I wanted to not only share my appreciation, but I also wanted all of the audience to know that um, where I'm coming from as far as what you represent here on Seeds of Love. And so I publicly wanted to do this to you, right? So I can, sometimes it's good to show people how much you appreciate them, not just behind closed doors, but in public
Publicly.
places as well. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And if you would like to come back to Seeds of Love season 3, we will be more than happy to have
Absolutely.
you. So,
Absolutely. That's not even a question. Why are we even having this conversation? Absolutely. But I mean, thank you so much, Monday. And I've expressed to you how much, you mean to me, how much our friendship means to me, how much I love you, how much I um, adore you, and what we're doing here, and beyond this podcast, you as a person, how much you mean to me. So,
And it's amazing to watch you grow. I feel like a father, watching.
oh please,
this.
Mondy.
I remember when you first came, just, the very first few episodes, you were trying to find your niche, and I watched you blossom to this beautiful young woman sitting in front of me right now. It's just amazing, really amazing. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, family, we're going to look at some of our most memorable episodes and perhaps even share a story or two about some of the ones that you remember the most. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to Seeds of Love, the season finale. I'm here with the fabulous Fabi Dumas.
Of course.
So, Fabi, back. Now that I'm done embarrassing you in public with
I know, my cheeks
and appreciation. As we look back over season 2, what would you say were some of the most memorable podcast moments that you yourself experience right here on Seeds of Love?
Monday, that's a tough question. That's like telling me, oh, they only have one child. But that's I assume that's what it's like when you tell a parent
who's your favorite?
Pick a favorite child when you have more than one. It's like, I'm not picking you because I love you more, but in this moment, that's where I'm at. Monday, every one of them were my favorite in, for different reasons. Yeah, their own way. We had a sex therapist. Gosh, we had the conversation with men from different background, and like that was really good. We had your sister-in-law and brother, the relationship about laughter. That one, my cheeks still hurt from laughing. But
if you could find a way to pull one from the hat, of the beautiful
again,
moments.
Not because I love one child more than the others, but the one episode that stick with me, maybe it was their story. I connected with their story because they were a couple of a certain age, and as you know, I turned 40 this year, and I connected on a personal level to the episode with Chanel and John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I connected with that episode.
Interesting enough, this particular show was the number one show of the season.
Really?
That show had the most listeners and the most feedback from that particular one. So it's interesting that's the one you chose as your favorite one. But I think a lot of the listeners also felt the same way. As you know, we were able to look at a little bit the background behind Seeds of Love.
Mm-hmm,
we were able to look at who are some of our listeners and the age gap and with the age group that actually listen to our show. It's 25 and up. So it's kind of interesting that you chose a show where the conversation was a very mature conversation between two mature adults, and literally breaking it down for us when it comes to love.
And we don't want Nadine and Eddie to come after us. We're not saying you're not mature.
They are, but let me just say though,
choice of words. Monday said it, not me.
I know you chose Chanel and John, and I love them dearly. They are some of my favorite people in the whole world. But I couldn't help it to think about Eddie and Nadine. this perfect duo that came before us. And again, when we were thinking about doing the show, Fab, I don't know if you remember,
Mm-hmm.
we were trying to figure out who can we bring on the show, because the show's supposed to be about laughter in the
Mm-hmm.
context of marriage. And automatically I thought of them, because no matter when I am with that duo, what we experience on that platform is what goes on 24/7 in their lives.
Oh my God.
And so it was like, yeah, when they did the show, I was watching them and I was looking at this. I'm like, wow, you just couldn't fake this. This is as real as it gets, because what you saw right here on this very platform is exactly how they go about living their life. So that was very refreshing, and it
But
was
you know,
amazing to me to see that.
I
again.
know we got the numbers back as far as the listeners, the top episode. But you know, if we were looking at maybe streams on social media, I think maybe Eddie and
They
Nadine,
won that one. They
Yeah,
definitely won that
because
one.
that game
Yeah.
was like none other. Because when you actually see it,
Yeah.
oh my gosh. Oh my
I'm getting
gosh.
flashbacks when Nadine was convulsing.
I know. I still can't believe he did that to her. But but you know what? I know I said Chanel and John, but I connected with we're going back to laughter, right? And when you hear their story, Nadine and Eddie, and especially the part about when Eddie said Nadine was chasing after him, that was so funny. But it makes you wonder, ladies, should we be chasing after the dudes that we want? Maybe we'll be like, I'm joking. But, you know, it's something to think about, because Nadine knew what she wanted and she went after it.
And
So
you know
that's
what?
a
And they've
that's
been
a different-
together ever since.
Yeah, that's a different
Yeah.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
That's a different conversation. So let me see who I need to
Chase.
chase. I'm joking. I don't chase.
Now, speaking about Chase, this is the opposite of Chase, because we did an episode with our beloved friend on divorce, right?
Oh, yes.
And to me, that episode kind of brought some awareness to some of the things that people actually have to think about
Mm-hmm.
as you go through a divorce. Yeah, there is the financial aspect of it, but the emotional aspect of a divorce, I don't think we talk enough about that. There is a need, and I truly believe there is a need for those of you who are contemplating going through a divorce or actually went through one. Don't do this alone, right? If I learn anything from her, don't do it alone. Make sure you have your community of support around you to give you the strength to be there for you when everything around you starts crumbling down, right?
Mhm.
It is very, very important to get that support and seek counseling when needed. There's nothing wrong with that, to make sure that you're okay. And when there are children involved, it's even more important for you to make sure you are okay, because they're going to have questions. They're also going to be going through some things, especially if they're a little bit older. They may understand or may not understand why it's happening. So it's good for you to get the help that you need so that you can be the best version of yourself for your children.
Absolutely. And I think for me, as someone who's not married yet, and so it also make you think about marriage even before you go into marriage. Of course, we all know marriage is something that's very serious, but you know, there's certain things that maybe we don't think about or we don't talk about enough. So by having that conversation about divorce, it kind of um, make you think about it
Mm-hmm.
before you
Mm-hmm.
know you go into it. Because I was having conversation with um, one of my best friends, and he recently got married. And so in the process, like some of the conversation that we had, it was from some of the stuff that I heard on, from that episode, to kind of like, hey, you're going to this thing, and
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. So
Yeah. Yeah.
to make sure that they seek counseling and those kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I really enjoyed that episode. And it was one of my dear friends too. I love Laura, which we
Mm-hmm.
definitely have to bring her back.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
yeah, yeah.
I
She's
love that
coming back
girl.
for season 3. We have so much more that we want to talk about with her. Someone else that I'm thinking that did a marvelous show is of course our therapist. I call it our sex therapist here on
Hmm.
Seeds of Love. I think one of the things that I appreciate most about her is the gentle way of she takes something that sometimes people may consider taboo
Hmm.
and just talk about it. Like, we can be having, we could be sitting around the table having spaghetti, and she's like, I just thought about this, and it's something related to sex. You're like, what the? Right? So she makes it so one of those things that you don't need to be ashamed to talk about. You know, sex is part of being human, right? We are sexual being, right? And so she has no what's the word? She's not ashamed to
Yeah, she removes the shame
yeah, she
from the
removes it,
conversation.
right, and makes it something that we can talk about. And yeah, even sometimes she will choose to use this word versus that word, but I realize with her it depends on where she is or who she's talking to, which is so important,
Yeah.
because we're going to have different people comes into our lives. We can still have those conversations with them, but we can change the way or the approach we have the conversation. So I thought that was really amazing the way she was able to do that here on the podcast as well. So yeah, kudos to our sex therapist. That was beautiful.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. And I'm not a prude by no means, but it was a good conversation to, even because normally I would not have conversations about sex so openly, especially on a public platform. But she made me feel comfortable, and because sometimes when we hear about sex, in some of the conversations around sex, sometimes can be very raunchy. And so she made it in a way that no, we could have an actual conversation about sex without it being raunchy.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Jasmine is really good, really good. And now I don't know about you, but when you listen to her and she's talking about sex, but she's talking about sex using that voice, I'm like, oh God. Right? She has that very laid back, sensual voice. And
You know what I think? I
yeah,
think the next time she comes on the show, um, of course I'll be here as a spectator, but I think she should have the show with you, because I can see her voice and your voice together. And
we
our
did.
listeners,
Let me tell you something. Jasmine and I, when we first met, about 2 years ago, right? We did a poetry piece together where I did the male version and she did the female version, and we were kind of going back and forth and reading to each other. And it was absolutely amazing. When I say amazing, amazing, amazing. So that's how we became friends. I don't know if I told you that story, but that's how Jasmine and I got acquainted, is through the reading of the reading of the
I think
words, right?
I think you did. I think you
Yeah,
did.
because she's also really good when it comes to poetry and writing erotica. Some of her writings are just absolutely amazing. And she can just, for me, I have to sit there and think and write. She doesn't have to. She can just do it on the spot and come up with new materials. I'm like, oh, I can do what you do. She's in a different league.
The next show, I promise I'm just gonna sit back and let you guys do the show, because a conversation like that, I felt like maybe I was in a, I don't know, like in a 50 Shades, like a dungeon or somewhere, and it was a Dom and Sub
50
situation
Shades of
going.
Seeds of Love.
50 Shades of Seeds of Love. Okay.
Go ahead, Fabi.
Okay. But I mean, yeah, I
Now,
really enjoyed her episode.
last and not least, among all the episodes we've done, I have to say the one with all the gentlemen who came to the show. When we were talking about black men, and some of the issues that we experience as black men, to me, that was one of the most powerful shows that we ever put together. And on top of that, right in the middle of the show, there was an 18-year-old male who was struggling while we had no idea. Remember,
None.
we had no
Yeah.
idea this was going on. But while we were taping the show, he was there listening, and because of what was shared during the show, kind of changed his mind about the way he feels about himself. And then, of course, everybody stopped. All the guys stopped, and they started pouring into this young man. To me, that was absolutely, absolutely amazing. And I am forever, forever grateful for what took place on that day.
Did we ever, because I know we mentioned that
For
we
the
were
book,
gonna get him the book.
yes. So I reached out to what's his name, concerning that. He still haven't sent me because what I told him is I'll purchase the book, but we need to know how he's going to get it, because if it's an audio book, I wanted to know, do they have a platform where they're going to be able to play it, or do I need to just buy him
The
a
physical
hard
book.
copy, the physical book? So I'm still chasing him on that, but I'm hoping that before the year's over, we can at least get that taken care of.
And let me know if when you get a hold of him, because I would also like to send him a copy of my journal.
Oh, nice.
My 28 days of gratitude journal. And that
was
way.
so nice, Fabi.
Yeah, because I know it helped me sometimes, especially some of the stuff that he mentioned. I know that for me, that was something that helped me, because sometimes we don't see what we have until we look back or until we're reading back. And that book, well, I created the journal because of the book, but it helped me a lot. Something as simple as, thank you for my heartbeat. Thank you for those who have helped me throughout my life. So it make you stop and be grateful for each and every little thing in your life, because sometimes we fail to realize, no matter how hard, and I try to live my life that way, no matter how tough things are right now, but right now, Monday, you and I, we are living, no matter how tough it is, we are living the lives that we pray for.
Say that again.
We are living the lives that we prayed for. If you think about your prayers, 5 years from now, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, if you look at your life, those are the prayers that you had 3 to 5 years ago. That is the life you are living right now. And I know there's challenge, right? We go through things. Someone could probably think, well, I'm going through a divorce, or I'm going through this, I'm going through, there may be death or whatever. Unfortunately, some of these things, they are unfortunate. Life happened, unfortunately. But if you take a really good close look at your life, the life that you're living, you may be going through a divorce or maybe a loss or something, but the job that you have, you prayed for. The home you may be living in, you prayed for. So I think it's important for us to acknowledge the little things that we have. Yes, things happen and sometimes they are shitty. but even through it, be grateful.
Absolutely. Living the life of gratefulness, it's to me, it's an amazing thing because it is only through that you get to experience the other side. You get to experience other things. Because if you're not grateful for what you have, whatever it is, no matter how small it is, you're really not worthy to receive more.
But through it, that's how you get more.
Right? You really are not worthy to receive more. So if you cannot be grateful, I learned a valuable lesson when I was very young from my parents, my mom specifically. So shout out to my beautiful mother, Evelyn. Oh my God, let me tell you about this woman. I have a story to tell you because I went to Georgia and surprised them, right? So before I tell you the story, my mom used to say to us, and even I still remember this as a kid, she will give us money and then she will come back later on and pretend she doesn't have any and she'll ask us for some, right? And I used to be bothered by that. Like, why is she asking for money? So, of course, I asked her, I said, Mom, I know you have money, but why are you asking us to give you any? She said, it's because I know you don't have a lot. And if you're not able to give from the little bit that you have, I promise you, you're not going to be able to give when you have a lot. Because giving has nothing to do with having more or having less. Giving is from the heart. So she wanted to teach us that in life you always have to give. I don't know if you realize that we were created that way. The breath that we take, every time you take a breath, you have to give something in return. You have to give up carbon dioxide to the air, right? To the trees, and the trees needs it, right? Right. So we were created that way. The moment that I decide, for example, that I'm going to be selfish, put a bag over my head because I want to preserve my oxygen, I want to preserve it, what's going to happen? I'm going to die because the carbon that I'm holding on to is going to kill me because I'm supposed to give
it needs to be
back.
Released.
Yeah, I'm supposed to give back. So I learned that very, very early in life. So when we talk about being grateful, is being grateful wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and whatever situation you find yourself in. Always find a way to say, you know what, I'm grateful. It could have been a lot worse. It could have been a lot worse, right? So
that's probably my number one fight with my mom. I didn't mean to interrupt, but it's probably my number one fight with my mom because, again, through my journey of healing and, you know, like doing some internal work, like, because we know Haitian parents, well, some Haitian parents, I should say, they, I guess, because of lack growing up, a lot of times people, and I don't want to just say Haitian parents, I think it's maybe parents from the diaspora, they hoard stuff. And that's one of the things that I fight about my mom. And the way I look at it, you know, money and everything else is supposed to be circulate. It's supposed to circulate, right? And so if I'm asking God or the universe, the creator, whatever your belief is, for more of something, why am I holding on to things? You know what I mean? Because how is God going to give me something if I already have? Not just that. Imagine I'm asking God, I need you to give me a bed. But I have the broken one still in the spot. How am I making room for that? There's no room for it.
Yes.
Let it go. You know what I mean?
Do you ever see a pregnant woman asking for a baby?
Exactly.
Yep. She can't because she has to give birth.
I remember even with, you know, my past relationship, my daughter's father, and I had that conversation with my mom. Like, how am I? Because even after we were not together, but we were still living together. And I told him to, and I told my mom, like, no, I cannot be praying God to send me a good man. But there's one that's still living in my home. Where's that man going to come? It's not even about ego, but there's already a man here. When God is looking in his busy day, he's answering, I don't know, 7 billion prayers. It's 7 billions of us, right?
Mm.
Prayers. And so when he take a glimpse, like Fabi's asking for a man, oh, well, maybe she found one because there's one right there. No, you gotta go. So when he look, he sees an empty space and he can just grab one and put him in there. You know what I mean?
I love that picture.
So, we don't want to, I know we're talking about gratitude or whatever, but while we are being grateful, but I think it's also important to let go. And it's all because when we let go,
Mm.
what may no longer serve us may be the world to someone else. So if you're letting go, if you stop hoarding, you let go, it's going to bless someone else.
Absolutely.
To make room for you.
Absolutely. I love that.
You ever see when your car break down? When you give it wherever, whatever, a pound shop, I mean, not a pound shop, but you know what I mean.
Megan.
They usually sell it for parts and repurpose those parts, or they fix it and give it to, I don't know, like a vet or something. My last car, that's what I did. I donated the car that was no longer working. They give you a tax credit, but that car is fixed and get back on the road for someone who needed it. It no longer served me, but it was the world to someone else. And I'm sure that car is still out there running.
I love that. I love that. See, that's the beauty of having the fabulous Fabi Hills of love.
Oh, Mondy.
You get the little nuggets of wisdom every now and then. I love it. I love it. So we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Fabi, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what I did when I went to Georgia. Shh. It's a secret. Well, welcome back. So, just before the break, I was whispering this little secret to Fabi. The reason why I was whispering is because what happened was, Fabi.
Drum roll, please.
Drum roll. I went to Georgia to see my parents, right? But they had no idea I was coming. And my brother, his wife, she's a photographer as well. And they were celebrating one of my niece's birthdays. So they had everybody come to the house and so on and so forth. And my mom had all of her grandchildren there. So everybody lined up for pictures. And in the midst of that, I was in the midst of them. They had no idea. And so they took a few pictures, and then my sister-in-law was showing them the picture, right? And she's like, oh, look at the picture. Isn't that beautiful? And as they are looking at the picture, that's when they see me standing in the midst of everybody. And that's when my mom turned around and looked, and my dad turned around and looked. Oh my God, she was like...
Did they think you were like a spirit or something?
Listen, I've never seen this before. You know how she got so excited, instead of wanting to be toward me, she went away. She went the opposite direction first.
I probably would have too. Like, what in the world is going on? Is that a spirit? Is it Halloween? What's going on?
Oh my gosh, it was so ridiculously funny, and we were hugging. And I'll send you the video. We actually have a video of that. It was amazing.
I would love to see it.
Yeah, so I had an amazing time with them in Georgia just a few days ago. Yeah. So anyway, Fabi, where are we? I know we're all over the place here.
We are.
We were talking about gratitude. Go ahead.
No, I mean, we don't want, because we said what we said about gratitude, and I think it's important, but because of time, I think we should move on to some of the reasons why we are here. One of my favorite this year was the Ask the Therapist segment,
Mm.
the Ask the Therapist
Why did you like this
extravaganza.
one so much?
So, what I like about it, Alexa, stop. Do not keep this in. Do not keep this
Alexa,
in.
what did you like about Season of Love?
She's not listening. But, what I liked about it, I think it gave our listeners a chance to be part of the show. It wasn't just about us. They were able to, open and be vulnerable. And, I love the fact that, they sent their loves, they sent their questions, and, that they were part of the show. I really like that.
Yeah, I do too. It's like doing therapy for free. So yeah, that was fun.
Was that a dig at me? Was that a dig at me
Oh,
because
absolutely not.
you're
But no,
my
I
free
I actually
therapist?
enjoyed. It was very and you know what, the discussions after we read the particular scenarios or was very insightful as well. I realize more and more as we spend more time together how deep you can be sometimes, even though you joke around and things like that. But when we have a discussion, you can be very insightful, um, and I really appreciate that. So yeah, so Ask the Therapist was really good, but you know what? To me, it's the best ever.
What?
What's to come? What we're gonna be doing next year,
Oh, absolutely.
and all the new listeners we're gonna have, and all the new people we're gonna invite to the show. I spoke with someone earlier today who is excited about coming to the show. In fact, he just had a new baby. I think, oh, the baby's an infant now, but he was telling me how excited he is, and he's gonna bring his wife to the show, and they're
Okay.
gonna be a war, but man, I was listening to him. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a very interesting show. So he was like, so are you going to send me all the questions first so that we can prepare? I said, nope.
You're going to be raw. I mean, if you're going to be raw, why should we send you the questions? But I'm excited. I don't know who it is yet, but I'm excited.
You'll like it.
But, before I have a secret, Monday. Well,
Ooh.
not a secret, but I have a
Ooh,
confession.
drum roll.
I know.
Sure.
I have a confession. Before that segment, usually I've been very open and transparent about, therapy. I am in therapy, although I recently fired my therapist, or we mutually agreed. Was it mutual? I just felt like she wasn't doing what she was supposed to, and decided it's time to move on. But usually when I'm looking for therapists, I usually look for a female I can relate to, someone with some type of a diaspora background, because sometimes our traumas and struggles, someone that's not going to just, brush over them, because our traumas are very real, certain expectations. And those are some of the things. And sorry, not sorry, but Black usually. But I think after that segment, although, you're my friend, we've had conversations, my God, I get free therapy all the times. Maybe I should not be advertising that, because he has a business.
I do not do therapy for
He
free.
does not do therapy for free.
Except if you ask the therapist while doing the show.
Exactly.
There you go.
And I don't use him because, like I said, I have a therapist. It's just sometimes in conversation, something may have just happened and I did not see my therapist yet, and we'll have the conversation. But doing that segment Monday, one thing that I realized is to remove my bias. I
Mm,
realized there is absolutely nothing wrong with having a male therapist. I can still
mm,
want Black therapists, but there is absolutely, because I thought, oh, a woman would relate to me. But some of the questions, because they were mostly women, who said those questions and how you were able to answer them. And I was like, wait a minute, girl, you've been bugging. And so I'm definitely, as I am looking for new therapists right now,
mhm.
um, definitely I am open. I am also reading through the male therapists and, their qualifications to make sure that I find the right fit for me.
Yeah, and take your time. Take your time. That's one of the things when it comes to finding a therapist. Um, you have to find the one that's going to do it for you. Okay. But again, trial and error, right? And
Absolutely.
yeah, like I say. So,
But speaking of that episode, like,
mhm.
I really want to, not, I know I'm speaking, not just I know both of us, we're immensely grateful for the trust our listeners put in us, and by being vulnerable and sending their questions, trusting us and trusting that we would take their concerns and their questions very serious. And
Mhm,
so,
mhm.
I know in the upcoming years, in the upcoming season, we've talked about it, that that's definitely a segment that is going to continue and to be part of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on that I don't want to go into right now, but there's a lot going on that I'm looking forward to for 2024. There's coming out almost at the end of 2024 by October. And so we're going to have a lot of conversations around that particular thing. And so definitely we want to make sure that our listeners are aware that if you continue to send us your questions, and we will definitely find the time to answer them and help you as much as we can. All right. So
Yes.
2024 is right around the corner, Fabi. So what do you have planned? What's going on? The crystal ball, it's the jingle ball. What's did I say crystal ball?
You said the crystal ball. You said the crystal ball. I was like, I don't know what crystal ball he's talking about, but okay. Maybe, he knows something I don't know about a
So
crystal ball.
as we get ready to engage into closing this chapter and then open this new one, what do you see for 2024? What?
Um, for 2024, what I see for our listeners or for the show,
Oh, there's the crystal ball. Go ahead, Fabi.
hold on to your seats. It's about to be, because I know last season was my rookie year. It was my rookie season. But, we're brewing something amazing for the next season. We have some amazing episodes. We have some new segments. And we're bringing in more guests. I mean, you
Mm-hmm.
already said
Mm-hmm.
you have some guests lined up, and this season is not even over yet. And I already have some people in mind for the upcoming season. So I would say for our listeners to definitely hold on to their seats,
Mm-hmm.
because we have an amazing, fun roller coaster ahead.
I love every time you describing Seas of Love, you always think of a roller coaster ride. I love that.
Yeah, we have something amazing ahead.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's it. We have, because I don't want to say too much. You know
No,
what I mean?
don't. Just gear up,
I
gear
don't
up,
want to
fasten
spill
your
the
seatbelt,
beans.
and get ready. That's all we can say right now. Just get ready for what is to come. And so as we wrap this year, we want to say thank you to each and every one of you. We want to extend our deepest gratitude. It was an incredible journey, right? We made some friends. We had some new people that we never knew We never met, but we finally met them. We had some questions that came to the show that we had to answer. So I promise that the energy that we're gonna bring positive energy to the show as much as we can. We're gonna bring as much love to the show as much as we can. And we're gonna keep this going, right, Fabi? We're gonna keep this
Absolutely.
going.
And I want to take this opportunity to say two things, really. First one is to our listeners, I want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for listening to us, because we know that you take time to listen to us, to invite us into your hearts, invite us into your homes. And if you're like me, you're probably listening to us while you're working. So that's trust that while you're working, you allow us to fill that time, to spend that time with you. So I thank you so much, and I wish you nothing but, a new year filled with joy, with love, and countless seeds of love blooming in all of your lives. And the second thing I want to say, I know you guys have not heard from us in a while until this episode, but I think it is important for me to say, Monday,
Yes, Fabi.
happy belated birthday. Monday's birthday passed, and I wanted to wish him a happy birthday on the podcast. But of course, we have not recorded since his birthday.
Yes, I've been
And
traveling, so
you have been. And you deserve it. You deserve it. But Monday, I wish you for the year 2024, not only, a successful podcast, but I wish you a successful year in everything that you do, your career, your marriage to your beautiful wife. She is absolutely gorgeous. She's.
I know.
We're not having this conversation again Monday. Why are you taking credit because your wife is beautiful?
I told my wife the more she stays with me, the more beautiful she became. I mean,
I think it's the other way around. We've had this conversation already Monday.
Listen, I can show you a picture of my wife when we first met and a picture of her right now. I promise you, she is 20 times more beautiful now than she ever been. So I have to
I
say,
don't agree.
I have something to do with it. I'm just kidding.
You know what? If you're listening, I hope your wife is listening. Like,
She's
the
gonna get me.
disrespect. Yes. 20 times more beautiful.
Babe,
Sir.
This is my way of saying I love you. I'm just kidding with you.
Okay. Yes. I'm sure because of her, you've looked 20 times more handsome.
Oh, so
since you got married.
you see how that goes, guys. You see, if we do it, we have to apologize, but when they do it, yeah.
There's a song. I don't know if you listen to ratchet stuff like me, but it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. I'm not gonna say the word that comes after that, but yes. Yeah. So I wish you an amazing belated birthday, and
thank you, Fabi.
And that that the next year and the ones after are the best ones yet.
Yeah, so I've had it's been a hell of a time. 2023 was awesome. So yeah, I am definitely looking for what God has in store for us for 2024. So to you, to your family, to your beautiful daughter, I want to wish you guys a wonderful new year. All the best, all the dreams that you have, they all come true. And to our listeners, we want to remind you that we love you. You are part of the Seeds of Love community. And so we want to wish you the very, very best for this year 2024. So until our next rendezvous, Fabi, keep spreading
love and kindness.
There you go. I'm out of here.